All right, so today we're going to tie together the entire unit. We've been talking about parts of an expression. We've been talking about combining like terms, distributive property, and now we're going to bring it all together into some somewhat more complex problems that have all of those parts in them. So what I'd like you to do at the beginning, notice there is a warm up and there are 8 problems. So I want to make sure that you take a minute and do those. And if you have any questions before we start, you need to get help because then it might be harder to add on to that. So I'd like you to hit pause and then go ahead and do all 8 warm-up questions. And when you're done, unpause and I'll tell you if you got them right. Okay, see you in a minute. All right, so welcome back. I posted the solutions. So go ahead and take a second and hit pause and then check your work. All right, cool. If you missed anything, please get help. You don't want to add on to this unless you know what you did or you didn't miss anything. Okay. If you're ready to go, then here's the last lesson. Okay. So we're going to talk about simplifying expressions, which we've technically been doing the whole time. But now, like I said, we're going to add in more steps. So the way you know that an expression is in its simplest form is when it has no like terms. So there's no more things that can be combined together. And it has no parentheses left. So you can't have parentheses in an expression if it's simplified. Okay, so there's basically 2 steps we're going to do, which is what the warm-up was. The first thing you're going to do is distribute because order of operations says to get rid of the parentheses. And the way we do that is by distributing. Then once you distribute and have a long string of an expression, you are going to combine like terms. So you're gonna stretch it out by doing the distributive property. Then you're gonna squish it back together by combining like terms. And if you're wondering, those are mathematical phrases, by the way. Okay, cool. So let's look at an example. And again, we're gonna build, okay? So let's start with number 1. I've got a distributing problem. So I'm going to do that first. So I get 3 times x, which gives me 3x. 3 times, remember that's a -5, gives me -15. And then I don't distribute to the 8x and the 1 because they're not in the parentheses, but I do include them in the problem. So plus 8x plus 1. Okay, now that I've done step 1, check, I'm ready to combine like terms. So remember, we're going to box, circle, or highlight the things that go together. So this 3x is going to go with that positive 8x to give me 11x's. And then I have -15 plus 1. So I owe someone $15 and I give them 1. Sadly, I still owe them $14. And that would be my final answer. Okay, I did step 2, combine. All right, cool. Let's go to the next page. All right, because I want to focus on some of the harder ones. We've got 3 more examples to do. Okay, so we're going to look at number 5. I'm going to do 6 times r, which gives me 6r. 6 times a -2 gives me a -12. Then I have the minus r plus 26 minus 7r. And remember, if it doesn't have a number in front of it, it's a 1. So if you want, you can put a 1 there to be like, hey, that's only 1r. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but it can be helpful. Okay, so I have 6 r's. I'm going to take away 1 of them. And then I'm going to take away 7 more. All right. So 6 take away 1 is 5, and 5 minus 7 is -2. So remember, you find the difference, and you keep the sign of the bigger number, and 7 was bigger, and it was negative. So I have -2 r's. Now I have to combine -12 plus 26, which is the same thing as just 26 minus 12, which is a positive 14. So then I write plus 14. So again, people miss these because they don't box the sign. They also miss them just because of integer issues. So let me know if you're struggling with that. Okay, let's skip to number 8. Okay, number 8's tricky because the distributing is happening second. So in the last 2 examples, the distributing was at the front of the problem. Now, oh, there's Noodle again. Oh, Noodle, what did you do? Okay, let me go right back to the same. Okay, so this time, what I need to do is I'm going to notice what's in front of the parentheses and I'm going to circle it and I'm going to take the sign with me. Okay, so this is -2 is what I'm distributing. If you don't take the negative with it, it just complicates the process. So take the sign with it. So the 12x just comes down and I get 12x. Negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. And remember, this is a negative x. So a negative 2 times a negative x is a positive 2x. Okay, that's probably about as hard as they're going to get with negatives and things like that. Okay, now we combine step 2. So 12x goes with this positive 2x, which is 14x, and then minus 18. Okay, so let me know if that one doesn't make sense, because like I said, that's kind of tricky. Okay, one more example. We're going to do number 14. Okay, now 14 is weird because look at this. There's just a negative sign. So remember, if a negative sign's by itself and it's in front of something, you have to put a 1 there. So what I'm going to do, just to help myself here, I'm going to put a 1 right here. So I'm actually distributing negative 1. So the 14y comes down, and I get negative 1 times y, which is negative 1y. And again, you don't have to write the 1 if you don't want to, but it's helpful. Then it's negative 1 times negative 2, which is a positive 2. There's my eagle. Now I'm distributing a second thing. And again, circle the thing you're distributing and the sign. So this time I'm distributing a positive 5. So positive 5 times y is positive 5y. And a positive 5 times a positive 9 is a positive 45. Okay, now I can combine like terms. All right, so box circle highlight, my y, 14y minus 1y. Oh, I could have put those together, plus 5y. Okay, so 14 minus 1 is 13, and then add 5 more, I get 18 y's. And then I'm going to do 2 plus 45, which is positive 47. And that's my answer. All right. So I'd like you to try a few before you go, just to make sure you're ready for the practice, okay? And the few that there's going to be 3, so it might take you a little bit, that's fine. But again, I don't want you to go to the practice until this is solid, okay? So I want you to do for on your own number 10, I want you to do number 12, and I want you to do number 13. Okay, those are the harder ones. So if you can get the harder ones, the other ones won't be as bad. But please try those. Remember to circle the number that you're distributing and the sign. And when you combine, use your boxes to see the sign so you know if you're adding or subtracting. Okay, cool. So hit pause and then I'll see you in a few minutes. All right, so here are the answers that I came up with. I got negative 8p plus 46. Then I got negative a plus 19. And you could have put a 1 in front of the a, that's fine. Then I got 12K minus 76. So take a look at my process. You can hit pause if you need to. And then if you can identify any errors you made, then you're good. And if it makes sense. If you missed anything and you don't know why, then please get help. Okay, you made it to the end of the unit. Nice job. So do the problems, read the directions because it only says to do half of the page. So you have to figure out which half. And then make sure that you're all ready to go before you start the unit review. Okay, good job. I'm proud of your hard work and welcome to some algebra. Okay, see ya.